A few years ago, the journalist and author A.J. Jacobs decided to undertake what he called a gratitude project. He wanted to thank every person who was responsible for contributing to his morning cup of coffee. So he began with his barista, and then he moved on to the tasters, the cup makers, the roasters, the water system regulators, the officials at the shipping companies, and even the farmers who grew and picked the coffee beans in the mountains of Colombia. He flew all the way to Colombia, and then he took a very long journey via pickup truck to the mountains of Colombia, where he personally thanked all the people who grew and picked the beans that went into his daily cup of coffee. And in the end, he thanked well over 1,000 people. And he wrote a wonderful book about that experience called Thanks 1,000. And in that book, he thanks not only the living people, but also the people who are no longer here who contributed to his daily cup of coffee. He thanks Pope Clement VIII, who gave coffee the papal stamp of approval in the 16th century. He thanks the participants of the Boston Tea Party who helped to ensure the preeminence of coffee over tea in colonial America. He even thanks the 26 workers who died while building the Brooklyn Bridge, a bridge which helps coffee be delivered from Brooklyn to Manhattan every day. And he set out on this project because, as he himself puts it in the book, he's an innately grumpy person. He describes himself as more of a Larry David than a Tom Hanks. But he thought that if he could learn to express genuine gratitude for something as small as his daily cup of coffee, then maybe he would be able to see the world a little bit differently. Maybe he would learn what it means to truly view the world through a lens of gratitude. And I told that story and I spoke about the book Thanks 1,000 at the Livingston Interfaith Thanksgiving service this past Sunday. But what I didn't mention on Sunday is that A.J. Jacobs was beaten to the punch by 2,000 years by a rabbi named Ben Zoma. The Talmud recounts that before Ben Zoma would eat a piece of bread, he would recite the bracha, Baruch ata Adonai, shebara kol elu leshamsheni. Blessed are you, Lord our God, who has created all these people to serve me. And what did he mean by that strange blessing? Well, he explains his custom of reciting that particular bracha by saying that every day he used to think about Adam, the very first human being. And Ben Zoma would remember how much work Adam had to do just to eat a single piece of bread. Remember, until Eve came along, Adam was alone on earth. So he had to plow and sow and reap and sheave and thresh and winnow and sift and knead and bake all by himself just to be able to eat one piece of bread. I, on the other hand, Ben Zoma used to say, I wake up and I find all those things already done for me. There's a piece of bread there ready for me to eat every morning. But I didn't do the work to make that bread. Other people did that work on my behalf. And for that, I am eternally grateful. That is what Ben Zoma was expressing with his blessing. He was thanking God for creating all of those people who did the work that allowed him to eat his bread every morning. The vast majority of everything in our lives was prepared for us by generations of effort that we did not expend. We sit in buildings we didn't build. We wear clothing we did not sew. We use technology we didn't create, all of which we take for granted. We never stop to think about that, let alone express gratitude for that. But Thanksgiving and this whole Thanksgiving weekend really gives us an opportunity to take a step back, a chance to acknowledge and celebrate how lucky we are to have such an abundance of blessing in our lives. And although Thanksgiving is an American holiday, it is also a deeply Jewish holiday. In fact, Jews are called Yehudim because we are descendants of the tribe Yehudah, which is a name derived from the word Todah, which means thanks. In other words, the essence of being Jewish is being grateful. Earlier this morning, following the silent Amidah, the cantor repeated the Amidah out loud. And each blessing of the Amidah was repeated out loud by the cantor on behalf of the congregation, with the exception of one, the Modim Anachnu Lach paragraph. You may have noticed he did that one silently. That special paragraph of the Amidah expresses gratitude to God, because the cantor can bless on our behalf and the cantor can make requests on our behalf, but the cantor cannot thank on our behalf. That's something we need to do for ourselves. We need to say that paragraph for ourselves. And it's something we should do not only as Americans on Thanksgiving, being grateful, but something we should do as Jews every single day. So on this Shabbat of Thanksgiving weekend, we say, Modim anachnu lach. We express gratitude not only for the abundance of blessing in our lives, but also for the countless people who made those blessings possible. Modim anachnu lach she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotinu le'olam va'ed, tzur chayenu, mageni shenu, atahu lador vador. We give thanks to you, our God and God of our ancestors. We thank you for our souls, which are in your safekeeping, and for the miracles and wonders which you bless us with each and every day. And together we all say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom and happy Thanksgiving.